Hi, I'm Raf. I'm going to show you how to make a lockdown latte with Michael Jordan legend. Okay, first of all, if you can't tell, I'm from Melbourne and we're in lockdown again. And the reason you can probably tell I'm from Melbourne is because I have a beard. We invented beards and it's mandated by the state government. Everyone here has a beard except for me. This is a 10 a.m. shadow. Lockdown lattes. Melbourne, as you know, is the coffee capital of the world. It is. We invented coffee, and that's why the cameraman thinks it's funny. We invented coffee, so it's only right that we have the best coffee in the world. Everybody here drinks coffee because it's the only thing that we have. We don't really have anything else other than really expensive real estate, and that's probably why we all drink coffee. So, lockdown latte. Let's get into it. First of all, you're going to need some ingredients. You're going to need some coffee. This is coffee. It's ground up coffee beans. They're not actually beans. It's a berry, and we take the seed from the berry, and then we roast it, and then we crush it. It's really weird why we do that, but we do it, and it's great and it's delicious. Not really, but that's the coffee. You're also going to need some other stuff. You're going to need some milks. And I say milks because you have all different types of milk these days. You have like oat milk, some people like soy milk, some people like almond milk, and some people like just the milk, which is, I'm going to call this just milk, which is the juice that comes out when you squeeze a cow's boobs. So I'm glad it's called milk instead of cow boob juice. Or if you don't like that, or if you have some kind of lactose intolerance, let's say, you can have the almond milk, which is the juice that comes out when you squeeze an almond's boobs, I guess. And you're also going to need some water, represented by this kettle. It's inside this kettle, the water, and preferably really hot, just boiled water, which segues really nicely into some of the equipment that you're going to need to make this lockdown latte. You're going to need a kettle. Now, it's okay if you don't have a kettle. You could just go and get a kettle because they're like $10 from Kmart. Just go and get yourself a kettle. And if you don't have $10, well, then this isn't the video that you should be watching. You should be out sort of YouTubing, how do I make $10 or how can I make money? So lockdown latte, not for you. We got the kettle, we got the boiled water in the kettle. You're gonna need a little thing, pot, that's what it is, to put the milks in. And you're probably gonna need one of these, which is a thermometer for the milks that you can clip on like that, and it will tell you exactly what the temperature of the milk is. You're also going to need one of these guys. This is I don't know, it's a coffee percolator. It's a stovetop percolator, coffee machine, Italian coffee machine, coffee, not machine, pot, yeah. And I always never screw these on too tightly because it's got the rubber gasket in there. You'll wear it out too quickly if you screw it on really tight and store it that way. Only screw it on tight when you're actually going to use it. Inside you've got the little chamber that the coffee grinds go into, and the water and the pressure valve. You never fill the water past the pressure valve, otherwise you'll make your house explode. Danger. Next thing you're going to need is one of these French presses. If you notice what I've done with these, with this one, I've actually turned this little bit upside down. The reason that I've done that is because I can get all the way down into the French press instead of being hindered by this little lid. So I've turned it upside down. That's how I use it. So first things first, we're going to boil some water. We have some water in here. Get some water out here, just like this. And then we boil him. While that's boiling, I'll probably put some of the milks in. I'm going to use the regular boob juice. Cameraman thinks it's funny. Just like that. That's enough. And while we're preparing that, I'm gonna stick this guy in here. I'd also like to mention that we have Michael Jordan Legend. And the reason why I've chosen Michael Jordan Legend, stupid box, is because it goes great with a coffee, especially a milk coffee, because that's the kind of fragrance it is. It's the worst bottle in the world. It kind of looks like something with ears, but let's get to it. Now we wait until the water's boiling. Okay, so now that the water is boiled, we're going to pour the water that's just been boiled. It's a very hot into the chamber of the coffee thing. You can come closer and you can see in a close-up that I pour it, and I stop before I reach the pressure release valve on the side here. Now this is really hot, and I'm going to need a tea towel. Next thing I want to do is I want to place the coffee grinds into. I've got a little spoon, into this little guy, the holder, like that. And one thing I didn't mention about the coffee grinds is that these kinds of grinds for this particular coffee pot style is actually supposed to be ground up a little coarser than usual. So it's not as fine as what you would use on a coffee machine. So it's a little bit coarser, and I'm putting quite a bit of coffee in here actually. But that's okay, because I will drink it, because that's the only thing that we're allowed to eat and drink in Melbourne, just because we're the best. All right, do that. And then all you need to do, you don't need to tamp this down. It's not relied on pressure or anything like that. You just need to smooth it out a little bit like this, which that's why I've got a little bin underneath. That's lovely. We place this guy in here. And this is why I'm going to need the towel, because this is hot. Ouch. And I place this over the top. Spin him. Spin him. Ow. Hot. And that's when we spin it and we close it tight. Okay, so that's done. And so then we'll take this guy over to the gas stove. If you don't have a gas stove and you've got some other type of variety, like an electric or an induction type of stovetop, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. They just conduct heat. Okay, so I'll do this both at the same time. So I'll put it on very low heat, because that's what we want. We don't want a high heat. And on this side, I do the same thing. Oops, wrong one. I do the same thing. I place it on a low heat, and while I do that, while that's being done, I douse myself with Michael Jordan Legend going, hello, I'm up here. So yes, up here, this is where the eyes are. So Michael Jordan Legend, the reason why I chose this, oh, it's just brilliant. Let me just give it a bit of a spray. Very alcohol at the very start, because it is a really cheap juice. It's actually really cheap, but a lot of people say it smells like Roshan. It doesn't, but it does. They kind of got the same notes. Although this is quite good, it doesn't last very long, as you would expect, because it's only like $20 for the bottle, and you know, it's not bad. It's not bad. But it's like a sweet sort of coffee type of fragrance, which I really enjoy on a cold sort of wintry morning, as you get up and you're making your coffee and you're wearing your Michael Jordan Legend, and it's all good and everything works just right. Once again, I want to let this develop on this wrist here. A little bit of vanilla in there as well with the with the coffee to give it a nice sweet sort of kick. Now let me talk about the bottle. The bottle, as I mentioned before, is not the best bottle in the world. It is just the worst bottle in the world. And it's got a little signature. It's got Michael Jordan's autograph here on the cap, if you can see that. So you can learn that and use it to forge checks because you know he'll be good for it. So as you can hear, the percolator has started going, and you can smell it. It's just is really aromatic, very nice. Come in close and have a look at what's happening here. I'm going to open the lid so you can see inside, and you can like go look inside. Yeah, as you can see, the little coffee spurting out like that, and it'll keep on doing that. And the milk is getting to around about the right temperature. Yeah, so we're gonna let the coffee sort of percolate and come out. We don't want the whole thing to come out because the last bits are the really bitter bits, and it's not that nice. So you kind of have an idea of, as you look inside the actual chamber where the coffee comes out of, you'll have an idea of how much has actually come out from how much water has come up through the actual filter here. In the meantime, while that's happening, we have our milk that's almost at temperature. So I like to let it go to maybe almost around 70 degrees Celsius. Okay, and that's that blue zone over there. So while that's happening, I'm going to get this ready on this side. I'll get the French press ready. Just make sure that everything's nice and tight. Nice and tight. All right, the milk is done. And the next thing I want to do is I want to pour the hot milk into the French press like so. And put this in here. And now we spend the next sort of 30 seconds just introducing air using the French press into the milk so that we can get a nice sort of foam or a froth or something like that, right? So we'll just do this. Just be careful it doesn't spurt out the top of the French press. And you can see why I've actually turned this guy upside down, so that now I can go all the way up and down inside the French press. And I do this, I'll keep on doing this until I die. So this is almost done right now. As you can hear, I'll have a quick look inside. Yeah, that's enough. As you can see, there's quite a bit of coffee in there now. There's probably enough for one person. And as you take it off the heat, you can hear it's still going. So you want to rinse it so that it stops actually percolating, right? Okay, so next step is to pour some coffee into the cup like this. That's a generous shot. And the next step is to then take this milk that we frothed up and we pour it into a milk jug. I am so terrible with like latte art or controlling what happens here. This hasn't really gone to plan. But anyway, let's try. Okay. And there you have a lockdown latte, Michael Jordan legend. Bit of that in there. And it's really good. As we see now, as it's settling in the cup, as you can see, the foam is settling, and now it's time for the taste test. Terrible. So, but I'll drink it because I made it. So, no, actually, it's actually quite a lot better than what you would expect. It's actually quite tasty. Strong, just the way I like it, and with Michael Jordan legend, with Michael Jordan legend with it, it's just perfect for a Sunday morning. And I guess it's just time to enjoy the coffee now and look out of the window because I can't step outside of the house. Well, that's the way it goes. And so that's it. Lockdown Latte with Michael Jordan Legend. Thanks for watching.